plus bx plus c is equal to 0 are x is equal to negative b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2. This is just simply a quadratic formula. So in short, we want to derive this quadratic formula from this quadratic equation. So what do we do? Right. So to derive this formula from this quadratic equation, in short, we're just solving this quadratic equation using completing a square method. So we have ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now remember, when completing a square method, solving a quadratic equation, completing a square method, the first thing we have to make sure is that this x squared term is supposed to have a coefficient of 1. Now to make this x squared term have a coefficient of 1, in short we just say we divide throughout by a. So that this a and a will cancel, we have a coefficient of 1. So this is going to be x squared plus b over ax plus c over a is equal to 0. The next thing we're going to do, make sure our constant term crosses the equal sign, goes to the other side of the equation. So we just take this, the other side of the equation. So we have x squared plus b over ax is equal to, now this is positive, when it goes this side, becomes negative c over a. Okay. And the next thing now, we are going to identify our sum. Now, our sum, remember our sum is always the x term. Now, if you look at this, what's the coefficient of the x term? It is b over a. So our sum is just equal to b over a. Now, having identified our sum, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to have that sum, we square it, and then we add both sides of the equation. Now we have b over a. How do you have this one? It is just the same as multiplying by 1 over 2. Now, this will be b multiplied by 1 is b over a multiplied by 2, it is 2a. We've halved our sum. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to square it. Now we're going to square the sum. We get this sum, we add both sides of the equation. Now we're going to have x squared plus b over ax plus b over 2a squared is equal to b over 2a squared minus c over a. That's what we have. Okay. So now next thing, what are we going to do? Remember, we are completing a square. We're completing a square here. So we are going to just leave out this b over ax, get x squared and also b over 2a squared. So we have x plus b over 2a all squared is equal to, now what is b squared? B squared is just b squared over, what is 2a squared? 2 squared it is 4, a squared it is a squared, minus c over a. That's what we have. Fraction here, and also this is a fraction, so we're going to solve these two here. Now we're going to say this is x plus b over 2a all squared is equal to, now we find a common denominator. What is the common denominator between 4a squared and a? It is just simply 4a squared. Now this 4a squared into 4a squared is 1. 1 multiplied by b squared, it is b squared, minus this a into 4a squared. We are dividing 4a squared divided by a. This is just the same as 4 multiplied by a divided by a. The a and the a will cancel. So we're going to remain with 4a. Now this 4a multiplied by c, we're going to say it is the same 4ac. Okay, now from there, remember we are completing a square. So to get rid of these two here, we're just simply going to introduce a square root. And also this side, we introduce a square root. Now upon introducing a square root, remember we say it is plus or minus. So that these two and the root will cancel. You have x plus b over 2a is equal to plus or minus. We are in a root now, but this one is a perfect square. So now we can just leave out the b squared minus 4ac in a root b squared minus 4ac over square root of this. So we have square root of 4a squared. This is just the same as the square root of 4 times the square root of a squared. The 2 and the root will cancel. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 multiplied by a there, it is 2a. Now remember, we want to find the values of x. So now we can get this b over 2a the other side. We take this the other side. So to be x is equal to, now this is positive. When it crosses the equal sign, it becomes minus b over 2a plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Now also look at this. This is a fraction and also this is a fraction. So in short, we can just simply find the common denominator between 2a and 2a there. So we're going to say x is equal to common denominator between 2a and 2a is 2a. This 2a into 2a is 1. 1 multiplied by negative b is negative b plus or minus 2a into 2a is 1. 1 multiplied by root of b squared minus 4ac. It is as simply root of b squared minus 4ac. This is what we have. So by so doing, you will have shown to say the solution of a quadratic equation a squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. It is just simply equal to negative b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Thank you very much. Make sure you like the video, you subscribe, and also you share to your friends.